Good evening. My name's Mark Hall. I'm the Colonel of the New Hampshire State Police. At 3:38 p.m., State Police Dispatch received a call of an active shooter at the New Hampshire State Hospital. Upon entering the lobby, the suspect shot one individual. A state trooper assigned to the hospital and in close proximity immediately engaged, shot, and killed the suspect. The entire incident was contained within the lobby of the hospital. The victim was administered CPR on site and transported to the Concord Hospital. Unfortunately, that individual is now deceased. We are working to notify the family and will release more information at that time. We are working to determine the identity of the shooter. As previously mentioned, one suspicious vehicle on the campus is currently being investigated by the State Police Bomb Squad. Although there will continue to be a law enforcement presence here for several hours as the investigation unfolds, it's important to note that there is no threat to the public and there is no threat to the patients or staff at the hospital. On behalf of the New Hampshire State Police, I'd like to thank all the law enforcement partners who immediately provided assistance, including the members of the Concord Police Department, Concord Fire and EMS, New Hampshire State Police, State Office Complex Police, and the Merrimack County Sheriff's Department. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Lori Weaver to provide you with an update on the mental health services.
Thank you. We are shocked and saddened by today's incident at New Hampshire Hospital. All patients and hospital staff are safe. Our hearts go out to the family of the victim as well as our colleagues who have been impacted. We have established a call center for families wishing to reach out to their loved ones, and we will be releasing that number shortly. We have teams providing support to patients and staff as long as needed as we work through this tragedy together. While the hospital remains closed to visitors, it remains open to serve patients, and our dedicated staff will continue to provide skilled and compassionate care as they do every day. We will notify families as soon as visitations can resume. This is a difficult and unimaginable day for our employees and for our community. We will continue to make resources available in the coming hours and days. Thank you.
Although there's limited additional information we are able to release at this time, I'm happy to try and take a few questions.
Do you have any different information on the person who was shot and age, anything like that?
I'm not able to release that information at this time. I'm sorry.
Was the person a security guard at the facility?
Again, because of the investigation, notification of next of kin, I'm not able to release that information.
Was there a report earlier of multiple victims? Is that not accurate at this point?
Currently, there's two people, one the suspect and another victim.
And it was a state trooper that took down the
It was. A state trooper was assigned to the state hospital on a shift and immediately responded.
Was he in the lobby or running somewhere else?
I don't believe he was in the lobby at the time, but that's still trying to be determined through the investigation. That's information I'm sorry I can't release at this time.
What weapon did the shooter use? Why the suspect opened fire? What was the motive for the shooting?
Again, those are things we're going to find out during the investigation, but at this time I'm not able to provide that.
What weapon did the shooter use?
That I can't release. I'm sorry.
You don't know who that shooter is yet. You're working to identify that person. Is that correct?
Investigators are still working to try and identify the person at this time, yes.
Were there others in the lobby at the time?
I'm not aware of that information, ma'am.
Sir, do you know if the suspicious vehicle belongs to the suspected shooter?
Again, investigators are trying to determine those facts right now, but I don't have any information additionally to release on that.
What's the status of staff?
Police graduation. Yeah, nearby. Those additional resources.
There was a very quick response. Other than the trooper being on scene when the incident happened, additional troopers were here within minutes. And yes, you are correct. We did have a police academy graduation at the time.
What do investigators believe may be inside that suspicious vehicle you mentioned?
The suspicious vehicle is not occupied at this time, but investigators are trying to determine the circumstances around that vehicle.
The
Colonel?
well-being of that trooper who shot the suspect,
The trooper is doing okay.
he was not shot.
The trooper was not injured during the event. No.
And we don't know anything about the relationship between the shooter and the victim.
I don't. We don't have any information on the identity yet, so I don't have that.
Can you tell us what the victim was doing in the lobby at that point?
I can't. That's information. I'm sorry. I can't release at this time.
That suspicious vehicle, we've seen images of the U-Haul covered in police crime tape. Is that the suspicious vehicle? Can you confirm that?
I can't confirm that right now. Investigators are trying to do some work on the identity of the person that was involved and the circumstances surrounding that vehicle.
Can you give gender of the shooter, victim?
I can't release that at this time. Sorry.
What's the status of the staffing at the facility for the patients who are there currently?
Clinical staff is still on scene, and patients are still there, and everybody's secure and safe at this time.
And obviously, this is a very jarring incident to happen in our community, especially we saw what happened in Houston a few weeks ago. Any message to the community that you want to share?
Well, we just would ask people to try and avoid the state office complex at this time. There's going to be a large police presence here, so we appreciate the public's support on this. There's obviously a hit to the community, and allowing the investigators to do the work that they need to do would be much appreciated.
Do you have any sense of time frame for that investigation, or how long you would urge people to stay away from the hospital?
The situation is very fluid right now, and it's going to be several hours, if not days, for this investigation to take place. There will be further updates. I can't give you an exact time, but we will provide information as it becomes available.
Will that be in person or email?
I'm not sure at this time. Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to New Hampshire State Police provide an update on the shooting that occurred at the New Hampshire State Hospital. Just to recap, the 911 call came in at 3:38 this afternoon for an active shooter. According to investigators, the shooter entered the lobby there at the hospital and shot one person. That victim was transported to another hospital where they later died of their injury. A state trooper who was assigned to the hospital engaged the suspect and shot that person, and that person has also died. We know right now a suspicious vehicle is being investigated in the parking lot of the hospital, but investigators tell us there is no threat to the public, patients, or staff. In fact, patients and staff are still on site